Sisu Road to Revenge doesn't waste a second reminding you of what universe you've stepped into. The score hits like a sorrowful avalanche, sad, heavy, and powerful enough to rattle your bones. And visually, everybody looks authentically battered, weathered, and grimy, like they were dragged through history backward. It's a refreshing contrast to the polished, lotion commercial heroes that we usually get in modern action flicks. The film kicks off its carnage within the first 9 minutes and doesn't stop, ever. It's like the director replaced the script with a Red Bull IV and just yelled go. Welcome to the Muy Macho. Please subscribe if you're new here. And now on with the review. Exploding into chaos before you can blink, Sisu trudges through the Soviet wilderness, guarding the most dangerous pile of wood in movie history, if you could believe it. He transports it by truck, tank, and eventually train, reinventing the Home Depot delivery service one fiery explosion at a time. He's basically Finland's John Wick, if John Wick traded his suit for a beard full of frostbite and a soul stitched together with war crimes. This dude is calm under pressure like a librarian in a pillow fight, okay? Composed, annoyed, and ready to commit violence. Launching into pure madness, the Soviet commander hunting him, played by Stephen Lang, is a brutal and interesting villain. Apparently, it was his cruelty that forged Sisu into the myth he became by murdering his entire family, which is poetic as it is horrifying. Lang's character is promised freedom and fortune if he brings Sisu down. So naturally, he goes after him with trucks, motorcycles, cars, and more angry Russians than a Siberian DMV. But somehow nobody bothers to bring a rocket launcher. It's an oversight so strange it feels like the universe itself forgot. And yet the kills do stay creative, splattery, crunchy, and innovative like Mortal Kombat, directed by a Scandinavian poet. Thundering down the road with absurdity, the chase scenes do end up being kind of generic, but the execution is bananas, Bananas. You got heads bursting like overripe watermelons at a Gallagher show, limbs flying around like confetti at a wedding, and Sisu shrugs off these wounds like he's brushing off mosquitoes. At one point, he digs buckshot out of his own face, pretty casually because he didn't even know it was there. So that's not toughness. That's toughness dipped in cement and microwaved for an hour. This guy absorbs bullets like sponges absorb blood quickly and with alarming efficiency. So hurtling into a fast and furious territory, Sisu somehow, look, I know his name's not Sisu, but that's what I call him. Sisu somehow stumbles upon a tank, explosives, and enough loose ordnance to start his own museum of things one should not leave lying around. Okay. And he even does a stunt jump in the tank. Absolutely wild. He gets this full-size tank to flip forward over like a roadblock and just does a completely, it just sticks a landing like an Olympic gold medalist with serious anger issues. Somewhere in Hollywood, Vin Diesel probably felt a disturbance in the force. The escapes are fresh, they're fun, and totally unbelievable. Movie magic in the sure, why not category. All right, some of these escapes feel about as realistic as a cat filing his taxes. Technically possible, but only in cartoons. Crashing through the carnage while dragging his poor poodle along, Sisu's companion deserves an award of his own. The dog goes through more chaos than most protagonists in recent movies. My sympathy for the poodle skyrocketed every time something exploded, which is about every 4 minutes. There's also a moment where the villains suddenly decide they want him alive after spending 45 minutes trying to blow him into his component atoms. The logic is looser than a thrift store belt, okay? With almost zero dialogue, which I guess in some ways is good, the movie leans entirely on visuals and violence. It's kind of like Sin City, but with more mud and more creative ways to detach a human head. Dripping with gore in every direction, this movie leans so far into bloodshed, it almost circles back to art. There's an oddly Mel Gibson's The Passion-esque brutality to the violence, like the film is daring you to look away. And if you're in this for storytelling depth, you are barking up the wrong tree, sir. The wrong burning, bullet-ridden tree, in fact. But if you're here for revenge, carnage, and choreography that feels like a meat grinder set to music, you are going to love it. The blood splashed around like that time Gene Simmons had the flu, okay? Colliding into the finale like two exhausted titans, the ending fight looks like it's being performed by two vicious grandpas who waited too long to settle a beef in the Home Depot parking lot. The actors are older, and movements maybe a little slower. The choreography is slightly wobblier, and somehow it adds a little bit of charm. The only genuine sour note for me, though, he does end up killing many young soldiers who just happen to be on this train. It does kind of land wrong, and was pretty unnecessary. And it's the one moment where the movie's kind of gleeful brutality hits the wrong target, in my opinion. But you know, but then bursting into this unexpectedly warm finale after the big battle with the bad guy, the movie wraps things up with a surprisingly touching Hollywood type ending. It's emotional and rugged, kind of Nordic grandpa hug kind of way. But one giant mystery remains unsolved. How in the world did the dog get from Russia to Finland all the way by himself? Teleportation, hidden canine passport, divine miracle? I guess we'll never know. The ending warms the heart like a campfire built by someone who definitely blew up a train 5 minutes earlier. Now, look, if you want depth, you're going to have to look elsewhere. But if you want chaos, creativity, and carnage delivered at about a couple of 100 miles per hour, Road to Revenge is definitely your ticket. That's going to do it for the Muy Macho today. We will see you down the road there. Adios. Later. Bye.